Guess they forgot who I am and what I represent, what I stand for. It's the king for a fall, but I outshot them all. They ain't talking just material.
Showboating Sports, Scott-Free here. Man, the WBC came out today and said that George Kambosos was the undisputed champ. So we're going to talk to you more about that in this video. But before we go any further, make sure you guys hit the like, subscribe, and share. And hit the notification icon, bell, so when I drop more of these jewels, man, you be the first one to get it. So without no further ado, let's get back to the video. So like I said, the WBC came out and said that George Kambosos is the undisputed champion at 135 lightweight. Now, if you guys know about the story that Lomachenko was the unified champ, he was not undisputed. Devin Haney was his WBC mandatory. Devin Haney kept trying to make that fight, but Bob Arum did not want that fight. Bob Arum said that, who is Devin Haney? He needs to fight this. He ain't fought nobody, whatever, blah, 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 blah. So Devin Haney fought through some other fighters, became mandatory, tried to push for his mandatory. Okay, you guys following it? So then Lomachenko was like, well, he got in touch with the WBC and requested the franchise belt champion, whatever you want to call it, their franchise title. So Mauricio Suleiman was being interviewed by Fred from Barbershop Conversations in a casino after a fight or before a fight. And Fred asked him about the franchise title. He said it's not a belt. It is a designation. He said, so if someone was to get beat, would that go to the next fighter? He was like, no, it's not a belt. It's a designation. So at that point, Canelo and Loma were the only two people that had franchise. So when Teofimo and Loma got ready to fight, because Loma dropped his belt, became franchise, requested it, they approved it, he fought Teofimo. So while he was going to go fight Teofimo, Devin Haney was the WBC champion. Loma was the franchise. So as the fight was coming on and as they were going through the promotion of the fight with Teofimo and Loma, they asked Mauricio, can it be handed down? And Mauricio said yes. That franchise belt will transfer over to Loma. Transfer over to Teofimo. I'm like, how the hell is that possible? I thought you just said it. If you look at the videos, he said it clear as day. It is a designation and it's not transferable. Now it is. So fast forward, Teofimo beat Lomachenko. Teofimo didn't want to fight Devin because he said Devin was an email champion, right? Because a lot of people, including Canelo, David Benavidez lost his belt on the scale, right? You guys remember that? So what happened? They put the belt on the line and Canelo requested to fight for that belt and fight Caleb Smith, which at that point, Canelo won the belt. The same thing that Devin Haney had to do, right? So then now you go where Devin Haney is fighting, George Kambosos is fighting Teofimo now. So then they go, well, we're going to let it transfer again. Not only did it transfer from Loma, now it transfers to Teofimo. And so now the WBC is saying that, no, those guys are the undisputed champ. But guess what? When Canelo won his belt, when he won his undisputed title at 168, they said only 6 other people right now were the undisputed champions. And guess what? Teofimo wasn't on there. So the WBC is single-handedly messing up the whole sport of boxing like always. It's a bunch of bullshit is what it is. The WBC looks out for all kind of fighters except for a lot of good black fighters, and you all know that. And that's just straight up what it is. The WBC looks out for Canelo. No black fighters, right? But a lot of boxers and stuff can't say nothing about it because they got these organizations that will go against them and blackball them and do all kind of little stuff to them. You know what I mean? And that they don't, if you notice more fighters, they just take the humble route. They don't really say nothing about it. But we all know it's bullshit. We all know that. And what's worse than any of that is the fans, we pay our money and we ask to see good boxing matches, but we back them on this silliness. George Kambosos right now is the undisputed champion, but Devin Haney is the WBC belt holder, he's the champion. So if the franchise makes you the main top champion, then what are all the rest? That just means that everybody else holding WBCs, Josh Taylor, can't be undisputed because guess why? He has a regular WBC title. He doesn't have the franchise title. You can't have it both ways, man. You can't. What really needs to happen is, man, the athletic commission or whatever else, those guys need to step in and do something about this stuff. You know, they stepped in on the WBA, and so they're trying to clean their act up. But they need to step up and start regulating this stuff. But you know what really needs to happen? What really needs to happen is these fighters need to come together once they win the belt, because it's not me in the ring. I get tired of seeing people like Devin get screwed over. Devin is paying sanctioning fees, and the WBC is just crapping all over that guy, man. They could care less about him. So this is what really needs to happen. Somebody like Al Heyman needs to make a belt. Because if you look at it through all the promoters, Bob Arum messes over plenty of minorities. He does not take care of minorities. He does not at all. You got De La Hoya. De La Hoya doesn't take care of other fighters. He takes care of, he really works better with Mexican fighters, but he still messes them over. Look what he did to Canelo, right? So you got somebody like Al Heyman. He don't care if you black, white, Mexican, Puerto Rican, Chinese. He doesn't care. He treats everybody fairly. So why shouldn't somebody like him have a belt and hold some kind of, become, you know, have a sanctioning body? Because the WBC, man, is the worst. That used to be the most prestigious belt out there. And right now, in my opinion, man, it's crap. And you remember when Riddick Bowe threw that thing in the trash can. He took the WBC belt and threw it in the trash can. And here we are. WBC is still repeating itself with these stupid practices. And you got people giving them money that what is the WBC really doing? That's why Floyd didn't really care about belts as much. He's like, man, I don't care nothing about the belt. Because he was bigger than the belt. You know what I mean? Because all they do is they taking 2 to 3% of your purse and they're not giving you anything back. What is the WBC really doing for Devin Haney? Everybody say he's the email champ. They're not backing him up. They're not ordering the fight and saying, well, if he gets past it, we're going to order the fight and make him and Kambosos fight to get the franchise out of there. And we're going to go ahead and get rid of that stuff once and for all until we define it and make it better some kind of way. But, man, anyway, man, that's straight up no chaser. So you guys tell me what you think in the comment section. And make sure you guys like, subscribe, and share like I said before. And that way it keeps the channel growing. So until next time, guys, I'm out. Peace.